Well, I never, I never planned for being a lawyer. So when I went to law school, I had no intention of being a lawyer. Actually, I wanted to be a university professor. Um, but circumstances conspired. So by the time I graduated from law school, I had 10 years of university under my belt and a 2-year-old to feed. So I thought, well, I'll practice law for a little while. And but my passion had always been in the Constitution. So I'd gone into law school to study constitutional law, and it had been a focus in my undergraduate also. And if you're going to go into constitutional law, you end up doing a lot of criminal law because a lot of the charter rights only interface, where the state wheel is hitting the road, so to speak, in the criminal justice system. And in my case, it also brought me into health law because the Constitution interacts quite a bit with, the question of what do we have the right to access treatments that the government doesn't want us to have. And I kind of fell into that too. So, but it's funny, you're forced to take a criminal law class in your first year of law school. And when they started talking about the role of defense counsel, how, basically you're there to make sure the trial is fair. And it just resonated with me. And it's funny, like the public doesn't like defense counsel. And, let's say you fly to Mexico tomorrow and you rent a car and you're pulled over for speeding. And the two cops are walking up to the car with their hands on their guns. You feel you're worried about going into jail. And why is that? Because they don't have the rule of law. But, in Canada pre-COVID, you get pulled over for speeding and the officer's walking up to the car, you feel like you're being taxed. You're upset because you're paying a road tax.
Yeah.
Literally. And that's because of defense counsel. They're the ones that define how far the state can go in interacting with your life. So, so I basically just devoted my career to trying to, as I say, slow down the machine. And, anyone, I'm working on my 29th year practice. Anyone that's been doing that as long as I have, will tell you it's just been soul sucking because just slowly they gain more and more ground. You're fighting a rearguard action against a large army, and you're talking about how unfair the Rouleau Commission was. Right down to procedurally, didn't even only get 15 minutes to cross-examine.
It was 10.
And it should have been days, right? If you to be fair, and you're always against this machine. I had one case where we were basically asking the federal court for a declaration that when the states basically seizes vital medication, so stuff that really is life and death, and in that case, the state caused death after death after death, that is a constitutional minimum. Maybe the state should tell you they've seized your medication, and that there should be some mechanism for you to be able to argue that your life is more important than some regulation being violated. And I think there were 12 lawyers against me in that case. It's just, and those are the ones you see.